When I graduated, I had 11 scholarship offers, somewhere in academics, somewhere in sports. And my high school art teacher encouraged me. She said, you need to go to UAPB. So I'm taking my little portfolio around, and the late Ernest Davidson, who had won the Governor's Award. Ernest loved my work, because I initially came in as a sculptor. And then I met Terrence Corbin. And anybody know Corbin, he was like a walking encyclopedia. So I come in, show Corbin my portfolio. He said, this is typical 17-year-old work. I got outside, I said, that little short man, he think he bad. All right, little did I know he was bad. Because I ended up working for him. But it's the idea, I tell people that I didn't make a lot of mistakes because they were the ones that guided me in terms of going to college. I remember them saying to me, well, we want you to go get your master's. I said, I'm sorry, I don't play golf. Because I had never heard of master's. Okay, my parents didn't have one. So they went in and they guided me, and then they talked to me about teaching. I was like, no way. Because I threw clay in class. I was one of those students. But they guided me along the way where I didn't make a lot of mistakes. And that's when I met Matthew, as I was saying, nobody gets there all by themselves. It's always a team. And I feel like God putting people on your team to help you go to certain places. And the importance of historical black colleges, they put you under their wings. Now you're gonna hear some of the Sunday school words. They're gonna tell you what they think. And I never shall forget Henry Linton, who was the chair. I came in, everybody know I like clothes. I came in one day and my supplies. He looked at me, he said, you got a pair of $30 Stacey Adams, a $25 pair of Levi jeans, a Calvin Klein shirt, a Pierre Cardin tie, and a $2 paintbrush. Young man, where are your presents? And I learned then, you gotta be prepared. And I tell students that opportunity meets success, but you gotta be able to do that. And when you're on your way up, you gotta bring somebody else up. I mean, because we gotta always, and I think that's what HBCUs actually teach you to do. And that was the best decision I ever made in my life. I've had invitations to come out, and they put on the University of Oxford Fayetteville. I would not attend the opening. They had to go back and do the invitation opening. I said, it's University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. And at one reception, I sit out an hour and a half. I was getting ready to go out and do a lecture. I said, somebody can go and explain this. Because that's where I did my undergrad, and I'm committed to where I obtained my degree. And the one thing I do, I try to give back to that university as much as I can. Now, I also give back to the University of Illinois and University in Northern Illinois, because they always call for money as well. But University of Arkansas Pine Bluff is where I got my foundation. That was the best decision I made in my life.
In HBCU was almost a no-brainer. I mean, in Texas Southern in particular. Texas Southern University, as it exists right now, was originally Texas State College for Negroes. My grandmother's brother was one of the first students to graduate from that university at that time. My mother went to the school. Several aunts and uncles had graduated from there. By the time I got back home from the military, it was a no-brainer. It was expected. You're going to follow the family tradition. Now, my journey is a little bit weird because while I was in the military, I actually started school at Cal Poly in Pomona, California, which from Texas Southern University, that'd be like mixing oil and water. You know, and if you sprinkle in Pratt, it'd be seasoning. You know, but my experience at Texas Southern University was so very different from the other schools in that I found a place that I could fit in. I found people there that were teaching at that university at the time that I went to the university that actually knew my mother. They knew the kind of student my mother was, and those professors told me, we expect you to follow your mom. My mom, of course, she was a teacher. However, you said something very profound just a minute ago. At HBCUs, you may not know every professor there, but you will find somebody there who becomes family. And they will introduce you to other students of like mind, and they become your family. That family, at that point, is very, very formative in a student's life. You figuring between 18 and 22, you know, you're finding your way to the next level of life. And so, for me, I had a bit of an advantage in some ways, having been in the military before I returned to school. However, I still was not a complete student. I was a soldier. So I had to learn other things in a different environment. And it took me so much, I'm being honest, it took me a long time before I could actually adjust to being a civilian. I had the fortune of having 2 professors who had actually been in Vietnam. So they understood me. And I went here, just like you said, people take you under the wing. They helped me understand who I was as a man at that time. But they also made me understand what was expected of me. As I said earlier, the teachers who knew my mom, what's being expected of you. Where are you going to be in the black continuum? And so I was remolded. And I don't think any other place that I had gone to that I would have been remolded. I would have just had gone to school, got an education, and said, okay, I'm either going to get a job or I'm going to grind for myself. Well, Texas Southern, as a student, and most HBCUs, believe it or not, you go in there, you're getting educated, but you're getting socially hardened. You know, you're being taught how to fight your way through life, how to cope, how to deal with what it means to be black in America, how to accept the history of being black in America, and what part of the history are you going to contribute going forward. That's what I learned at an HBCU. I would not have learned that at any other university because I would have just been a face and a number. And that's that. You know, you cross the stage, you grab a weapon. At an HBCU, when a professor shake your hand, when that president shake your hand, man, he crying and you crying too. You know what I'm saying? Because he done fought with you for 4 years or 5 years or 6 years. They fight with you. And I think that's the coolest thing in the world. To say that if that continues to be the case for HBCUs, I find it very, very difficult to accept the failure of black in America right now. I find it very, very difficult. And I wish that everybody could accept that. That brings us to the point of the show, actually. So I'm gonna pass that to him. I want to talk more about it.
Nobody in my family had been to, well, that's a lot. My older sister did a year at Lincoln in Missouri, but I didn't even know that was HBCU until I came to UAPB. So at that point, I definitely didn't fathom myself going to an HBCU, let alone graduating from one. But I was originally trying to go to Southern Illinois University at Whitfield. And back when I was 17 making art, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get a good scholarship there. My grades aren't too bad. So then I applied, and then turns out I got $4,000 in an art scholarship. And that's not a lot of money to go. I didn't qualify for a federal Pell Grant, and it was gonna be loans or not going to school at all. And then one day, just off faith, one of the schools that my stepdad was working at the time, a recruiter from UAPB came to St. Louis, to this high school, and he gave a girl named Aska Arnold, one of my peers that graduated with me, he gave her a full ride that day on the spot. So then my dad was like, huh, maybe he can get a full ride. So he comes home and he's like, yeah, look at this school, and I looked it up, and I was like, okay, it doesn't even look like they really have an art department. I don't know if I want to go there. And then I got basically full ride from my academics, so it was like, well, don't have an excuse now. So I was talking to my art teacher, and she was like, well, right now you're in St. Louis, a pretty big city, pretty big populated, a lot of artists working here. You know, you could be a medium-sized fish in a very large pond, and you can go to Pondville, Arkansas, and be a big fish in a small pond. And I was a big fish in a small pond, and I would say that changed my life, because at the time, Danny Campbell was the chair, and he, like they said, took me under his wing. Anything that I needed, he took care of. If I needed more money for scholarship, he found a way for me to get it. If I needed money to just put in my pocket, he found somebody that needed a logo, needed a drawing, something, a portrait done. He held not held my hand, but he pretty much, grabbed me by the shoulder and said, I got you through the first couple of years being at HBCU. And then I would say, as I was matriculating through the university, it really showed me the type of love that you can get in that environment that I probably would not have gotten if I went to SIUB. I would not have had teachers that really cared about the art that I was making, or